Hello, welcome. My name is Marilyn Shannon, and this is the Breaking Free Show. And as always, it's a pleasure to have you join us today. And I want to first introduce Amnon, who is our producer. How goes
Hello.
How goes it?
It's going.
It's going where?
Yeah, it's going the right direction.
Hope it stops.
Good. And I want to welcome everybody, and I want to before we go forward, I just want to say thank you so much for being here today, and I hope you all enjoyed your Thanksgiving to the max. And, when we first started the show, the very, very first show that we ever had, my mother joined me on that show. It was our inauguration to doing the Breaking Free Show. And today I want to introduce my mother, Gloria, to the show. Hi.
Hi, and I'm so proud to be here again and have lived long enough to be here again.
Yes.
That I'm happy about.
Yeah, it's really special to have my mother here. She's been with me in North Carolina on and off since June, and is going back to Florida tomorrow. And so, it was a good way for us to celebrate having been together for these last couple of months and to bring our celebration out in the open and to enjoy it all with you. And so today's topic was gratitude. And first, let me say how grateful I am for my mother. She's always been with me. She is there for me all the time. And I just want to, and for my children and all my nieces and her great-grandchildren, everybody, she's there. So, Mom, I want to thank you.
And I thank you for allowing me to share you.
Good.
Because it's been my pleasure, and you've kept me young and happy, entertained, and just wonderful. And I attribute a lot of it to you.
You do?
And I thank you.
Well, I don't know. I guess my mother has taught me a lot. This has been a really kind of crazy time, things going on. And when we chose the title, when I chose this subject to talk about gratitude, it's so poignant for some of the things that have been happening around me that I've been a part of. A couple of weeks ago, I shared a story with all of you about a situation I'd been in at Starbucks. And for those of you that might not have heard it, let me just go through it real quick. I was on the line. It was a big line. I had to pull into the drive-thru. I let somebody else go in first. And I, at that moment, been thinking about all the wonderful people and things in my life, and I was feeling really grateful. And I let this person go in. I got up to the top. When I went to pay for my drink, they told me that the car in front of me paid, and I was like floored. My mouth was open because I had just been thinking about people in my life that had been so kind to me. And I wasn't thinking about, being kind in my moment of letting this woman go in. It was just, was she there before me or not? I didn't know. I just let her in. Anyway, the barista ended up taking my money and paying for the car behind me, and I found out later that it actually went on for about a half hour. So it was really an extraordinary story. When I left Starbucks, I went to a meeting, and when I got to my meeting, I happened to share with some of my friends there what had transpired. And a friend of mine turned around and she said, "The universe is listening." So I was like, wow, they're listening. What an amazing thing to realize that the universe was listening. Well, meanwhile, some of you may know that I haven't been feeling well lately. And it's been several months of not feeling well and thinking I thought it was one thing and not sure. I started treating it as that one thing, and I continued to not feel well. I went to the doctor and we did an endoscopy. I thought I had an ulcer, and it turned out that it wasn't an ulcer. I didn't have an ulcer, but not knowing what it was, they later scheduled me for an MRI, which I had, a CAT scan last Friday. A miracle happened where they scheduled me for an MRI just a few days later with an appointment with a doctor. And another miracle, I thought I had cancer. I don't. And I felt so blessed. And so, I really felt like I was living in this place of where the universe really is listening to us. And I really feel that is very, very true. I believe that the universe is listening. And sometimes, even in the most difficult of moments, and we have that too going on now. We have a relative who is not feeling well, and it's kind of like here we are talking about gratitude when we have something else going on that isn't. And to boot, I just came from a funeral of a 23-year-old that was killed the day after Thanksgiving driving a car. So my stuff going through Starbucks, this thing with my not feeling well, still don't know exactly what it is, but it ain't cancer. I have a family relative that isn't feeling well, and now I just come from a funeral. So I'm thinking the universe has this thing going on because here I pick this term gratitude. And how do I work with this gratitude? How do any of us work with gratitude in the face of a mess? So here's a little definition. Gratitude is an emotion expressing appreciation for what one has, as opposed to, say, something that you would buy that you would want, like a need, or receiving something like that. It's what you fill the cup with when you say the cup is half full. That's what gratitude is, and it's a feeling. And gratitude, appreciation, those are some of the most easiest emotion for each and every one of us to self-activate in ourselves. We can do it on a dime. And when we do it on a dime, or when we do it any time, it has a reaction. It does keep us young, and it has a biochemical reaction. It allows us to release this anti-aging hormone inside of us. So there's so many reasons to be grateful. And sometimes it is difficult to find that little thing that's going to be, that you can find gratitude for in the midst of some really crappy times. And Deepak Chopra wrote this quote: "Gratitude opens the door to the power, to the wisdom, to the creativity of the universe. You open the door through gratitude." And I believe that is just can't be any truer. I really feel like I took the messages that I was receiving last week and the fact that I was told by someone that the universe was listening to me, and I took these and I found gratitude even in the moments when I was waiting to find out if I had cancer. I was scared to death, but I still felt gratitude. And so, Mom, what does gratitude mean to you?
Being thankful, appreciating good things when we have them. Sometimes we just don't realize it, but there's a lot of gratitude in little things as well. I think gratitude brings on bigger things that you're more grateful for and that show more gratitude for. So it doesn't matter the size of it or what you're grateful for. I think it grows with each time I say, thank you, I feel grateful.
That was so true, because it's like the more you feel gratitude, even in the little moments of gratitude, it's like putting money in a bank. The little bit of money you put in the bank kind of grows. It's the same with gratitude. Every single thing that you can find, dig it up. I don't care what it is. Every moment of the day, dig something up that you can be grateful for. The fact your car went today, the fact that you got up, the fact that the sun is shining, or that the sun isn't shining, it's raining, and you have a raincoat or you have an umbrella. Just like my mother said, it grows, and you want to find anything in your life that you can be grateful for. And sometimes, as it has been for me, it's been tough finding that gratitude. But you want to listen past the toughness. You want to listen to where you can gain the strength. And I believe that because I've been hearing these things, that I'm living in a state of miracles. And miracles come with gratitude. And here's another quote I wanted to run by you all. We think we have to do something to be grateful, or something has to be done in order for us to be grateful, when gratitude is a state of being. Iyanla Van Zandt, she's a famous writer, that was what she said. So you really don't have to do very much. Just be aware. And it is perfectly okay to express the gratitude for anything. It's not an ego thing. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't show that you are sitting there going like, see what I have, see what I have. It's not about that. It's not about that. And the more we share this gratitude, the more we can feel it. That's why I came on today and I thought, I'm going to share some of these stories with you, because the more we share our stories of gratitude, the better it is. Like I wrote on my Facebook post recently that I have a daughter. She has a snake. She loves snakes. I do not like snakes at all. She's grateful she has a snake. Well, great. I wouldn't like it, but she's happy with it. So that's what gratitude is about. It's finding whatever it is for yourself that you can be grateful for and sharing it. Chris says on the chat, gratitude is an attitude, and it's exactly right. And you get to choose or not choose how you want your attitude to be and what you want to find pleasure in. Today at the funeral, the mother and the father got up to speak. And the mother said, which, you know, just the fact that she got up to speak, the mother and the father kind of blew my doors off. And she got up and she said, how could she not get up and speak about this beautiful son she had? This beautiful son she loved so much. And it gave me strength to hear her say that. So there's been a lot going on for everybody. And this is a time when we had Thanksgiving and we sit around our tables and we share back to back, you know, from one person to another, the things that we're grateful for. And I want to invite all of you to call in 919-518-9773. If you live in Timbuktu and you don't want to call and you want to Skype, we'd love to have you do that as well. Our Skype name is Computers, that's plural, 2K Voice. I would love for you to call and share your stories of gratitude. What have you learned from being grateful lately? Carrie says, I have a list. Okay, call us with your list. I mean, I think it's important that we come out here and we share these stories so that we, you know, the funny thing about it is the more grateful I feel, the more grateful you'll feel. The more grateful you feel and you give me that thing that you're grateful for, the more I can feel grateful, and the same with my mom. So give us a call. Let us hear your stories of what you found interesting, what you are experiencing in your life. What did you feel today about gratitude? There's so much to share about it. Mom, when you look back in your life, I know you say about us and your grandchildren and your children, but what about yourself? What are you most grateful for in yourself?
Well, I'm me because of all of you. And
Okay.
I'm grateful for that.
Okay.
I'm grateful for the children that I have, for my grandchildren, for my family, for my great-grandchildren. And the most grateful experience I've ever had in my life was going to the doctor with you on Wednesday.
Oh.
That to me was the gift of my life, knowing that Marilyn does not have cancer. And 3 people showed the gratitude that the doctor deserved. My daughter, my granddaughter, her daughter, and myself. When the doctor told us those final words, she does not have cancer, the 3 of us stood up and hugged that doctor with such gratefulness, gratitude, appreciation, and love. I will never forget it in my life. And that, to me, was a great, wonderful experience. And I wish it on everybody.
You know, Debbie, Carrie?
Hello?
Hey,
yeah.
hey, how you doing, honey?
I'm awesome. So Marilyn called me out to tell the list. But I don't have a long list. I have my gratitude is that and it sounds, I don't know if it would be tacky, but my gratitude is just listening right now to your mother express the worriment we've all had. I've had for Marilyn Channing. I've met you a year ago, and I have gratitude that I know you. I have gratitude that I have met Amnon. My career is successful, but the best thing I heard the other day was that Marilyn Channing does not have cancer. So anybody out there that's listening, I mean, you are truly unique and gifted, Marilyn, you know that. And so many people love you. I want you to know how many people love you.
Thank
You're
you.
very, very appreciated in life. And I'm very grateful for my family. But your mother's amazing. I've met her before, and for everything that everybody's out there that is thankful for, it's the little things.
It's what? What was that last word you said? It's what?
It's the little things in life also.
Yeah.
It's the lunch with your son. It's the breakfast with your daughter. It's the moment when your 26-year-old turns to you one day and says, "Mom, thank you." After you thought your whole life, you're like, well, "What did I do?" That's what you get. It's the small things. It's hearing people's stories about, how great their lives are doing and better. The gift that for the show that we can give people to help and to nurture, but also to hear the feedback of how things are wonderful now. It's gratitude. It's the small things, everybody.
Yeah.
But I just had to call in because I just wanted to also validate that you had a lot of people that were on your side. And we were just all rooting and praying for you, and we love you very, very much.
Thank you,
honey. Your mom, you look beautiful together. You're both shining and glowing.
I have every reason.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. And I love Carrie, and I'm grateful for her. And somebody's writing, Debbie, I think, wrote on here that she's grateful for Amnon because Amnon has given us this gift of, putting this thing together, and so that we can all have an opportunity to express things that you may not hear and see all the time. And for a sense of humor. Debbie, who is in the chat, also has a show on, and one day prior to my having my test, she looked at me and she said, "I know that this is hard to hear, but it's a blessing." And I knew what she, in that moment, when you're going through things, you don't take the words as just the word. You go deeper into it. You have to. And when she said blessing, I couldn't just take it on as a surface word. I had to go into it, and I had to create an attitude of blessingness. And it was very important to me to do that. And so throughout the time of waiting for the test, and from now going forward, I'm looking at things very, very differently. And so I do go back to that thought that Debbie said about it being a blessing, because it was. And I know that, at that point in time, I wasn't meant to have cancer, but I was meant to have a wake-up call to push me to do things bigger, better, further, more gently, more heart, more soul, more something. And just what Carrie just said, not to sweat the small stuff, not to let the small stuff bother me, but to acknowledge the small stuff in gratitude. That's the trick. Don't waste the small stuff in sweating it, but appreciate it. That's really important. Debbie says, "I'm listening." Yeah, I know. You just did a show about listening. Anyway, Mom, you were talking about, who you are. But of forgetting about us for a second, what do you appreciate most about yourself?
I guess I'd sound succeeded.
No.
I would say, just firstly, my upbringing was superb. I had the best parents and family in the world. I have a lot of gratitude in me, and it all stems from the very beginning, from the inception of, as a matter of fact, I have a twin sister who shared every minute of my life with me, and that was another feeling of gratitude that I had. I always had somebody next to me, growing up with me and sharing with me, and it was just from the very beginning. And I always considered myself a very, very fortunate, lucky, grateful woman, and showed gratitude for it.
Mm-hmm. Amnon, you want to join the conversation? What do you feel grateful for?
Waking up in the morning.
Yeah,
he's right. He's right.
So well put. Why do you need any more than that?
That's it.
Right? Sometimes we look for these big lessons, and we spend a lot of time, I do too, looking for the ahas. And just like the small stuff, just getting up every day, how important is that, and how much do we take that for granted the night before, that we're going to wake up the next day? And like the mother and father said today at this funeral that I went to, don't take anything for granted. Appreciate every moment of being with everybody that you can enjoy being with. And that's not just the people that we know, that we assume that we have this love for, but it's the people that you can touch their heart and soul in a moment by breezing by them in the grocery store, or if somebody knocks you in the chins with their shopping cart. What's the point of sweating a small stuff? Smile back, you know. I mean, there are things to do in a moment. Here's a phrase that I saw this morning: finding kindness in unexpected places. Finding kindness, giving kindness, showing kindness in other unexpected moments when you're not called upon to do it, other than maybe silently you're called upon to do it. Maybe that's what I should say. It's not like a person is standing there saying, would you do this for me? Or would you do this for somebody? But it's listening deep enough to hear a message from the universe that says, you know, in this moment, somebody over there just needed a little something, and you were tuned in enough to be able to do that. That is sharing this gratitude. I know that there's a lot of things going on in the chat that I don't want to not pay attention to. So I'm kind of like going back there. And if somebody would like to call in and share some of these things, because it's happening really quickly in the chat, and I don't want to miss any of it because it's really good. But I will tell you that we'll copy all of this and all of the comments and all these beautiful remarks and sharing that people are doing. We will upload to the Breaking Free Show page, thebreakingfreeshow.com website. It'll be on Facebook, so that you can go and you can look at the show notes from today and be able to go back and say, what did they say, or who said this? And if you need a little bit of reminder of the energy that is going on and that we feel for being in gratitude, go back here and look at it, because I think you're going to feel it. It doesn't go away. Remember, you can call us now, 919-518-9773, or you can contact us on Computers 2K Voice on Skype. If you're listening and you haven't connected into the chat, please do so. There's a little line. You put your name there. You can use a nickname, whatever you like, and enter into this conversation, because it's really valuable to be a part of this beautiful group of people that are in there that are sharing their experiences of being in gratitude and what that's like. So I want to, again, go back and share some more quotes, because I think we can learn so much from these quotes. So here's another one, and this is by Tony Robbins. Trade your expectation for appreciation and the world changes instantly. Trade your expectation for appreciation and the world changes instantly. What do you think that means, Mom?
Exactly what it said.
Well, she knows me well.
It's exactly what it said.
So,
I mean, you just can't even find words that would express it more clearly and adequately than the way it was expressed.
right. So
Just listen to it.
Right. So expectation is a setup. When you expect something, it's like black and white, and you feel something if you don't get it. Hello?
You have a caller.
Hello, caller.
This is Debbie.
I know, Debbie. I'm so grateful for you, too.
I'm calling in because you asked people to call, and Susie Annie over there in the chat said Marilyn is speaking the exact sentiment of people who have near-death experiences and then live their life differently because they realize how important how you live your life is. And in my show just an hour ago, we had similar sentiments about having a crisis in a person's life and then finding
that a change needs to be made, moving in a different direction, relating to people differently, speaking to people, listening to people. Of course, your entire message fine-tunes all of us. I listen to you, and the word listen runs through a thread throughout all of your conversations. And I think that is going to be one of the watchwords of this next generation. So I appreciate that you are one of the leaders in acknowledging listening as a skill.
Wow. So, Debbie, wow.
You hear me?
Yeah,
okay?
I do hear you. Yeah, I hear you perfectly. And I want to ask you, and I thank you, and I'm grateful for what you're saying, because I believe that listening it's what saved me. Honestly, it saved me those days where I was waiting to take that MRI and going to the oncologist. It saved me because I was listening for things to give me hope. And, I listened to the fact that, wow, you mean I could have a CAT scan on Friday of the week of Thanksgiving, and they can make me a doctor's appointment and an MRI on Wednesday before Thanksgiving? Like, what a miracle is that? And that it was the Thanksgiving and Hanukkah coming out on the same time, and
don't forget the comet.
The who? And the comet. Okay.
There was a comet.
And my grandson's birthday all the same time, and there's more than that. And I'm thinking, I'm listening to all of these messages, and I'm thinking, and she said that the universe is listening. So, if the universe is listening, and I see all these things lined up that I'm listening to, that I'm listening to the lineup, I'm thinking, how can I gotta have hope? It couldn't be this bad joke, So, Debbie, you said something about the generation. What did you mean?
Well, I think that in our last conversation with Donna Powers, she was saying something which is absolutely true, that people are set in their ways. They go day to day, year to year, doing the same thing over and over again, bad habits, whatnot, knowing that they're drinking too much, eating too much, whatever it is they're doing. And it comes to some sort of a crisis where, like you said, you're getting the message from God or somebody speaking to you and you have to hear it. When you say the word, if everything that you said, replace the word listening to awareness, it would be almost equivalent. And I think that because this is a universal shift in the awareness of the planet, of how we're taking care of the planet, not just, taking care of each and every person, each and every community, and the environment, that if you're not listening, you're just going to continue those habits that take you down the wrong road. And I think what's happening is the next generation, they're going to be waking up. That awareness, enlightenment, waking, listening to everything around them, to watching their environment change in ways that are not conducive to life. And now, just like, you and me, we have to do something to support and help each other in a kinder, gentler way and do the same thing for the world. That's why you see change.org, petition.org. All of these things are people speaking out about issues that are life-affirming. And that is a lot of what your message is. And today, the issue of gratitude, the topic of gratitude, is about being thankful for the little things that we have, that we can still communicate, speak, walk, talk, everything that we can do. But also, what can we do to make it better? How can we improve? And not in a forceful way, but in a gentle way.
Thinking more positive about things. You didn't quote what Dr. Lowry said to you on your visit to his office during this very week of wanting to be grateful and show gratitude for every word that was said.
Yeah, this is really, Debbie, hold on. This is really amazing. So one of the things that happened during this these 3-4 days, 5 days, 6 days, whatever it was of my waiting for the MRI was I had an appointment with the eye doctor. And I'm in agony sitting in the examining room. I mean, in total pain. My stomach was just hurting so bad. And this is like, I guess this was Tuesday. And I go to him regularly because I have eye conditions. So he comes in, he examines me. I tell him nothing about the MRI. Nothing about what they said about my liver. Nothing. And he examines me, and he tells me my eyes are doing great, and I'm stable, and all of these things. And, gives me a hug goodbye, and he gets up, and I get up, and he walks out, I walk out, and I walk to the front desk to pay. And he's walking into another room. He turns around to me, and he says, and I heard this. He turns around and he said, either Marilyn, you will be fine, or Marilyn, you are fine. I couldn't get the beginning, but I got that. And I'm like, did he really just say that to me? He knew nothing about anything. I didn't tell him, and I didn't tell him I wasn't feeling well. I mean, I faked it. I mean, I do a lot of I fake pain. I mean, I don't fake pain. I fake not being, I fake not showing pain. So he said that to me, and I'm like, oh my God, that was like amongst all the messages, Hanukkah, 70,000 years, never be again on Thanksgiving, all these things. All of these things, and he said that to me, but I was tuned in to listen. And so, Debbie, that's exactly, Mom, thanks for bringing it up. That's exactly what Debbie is talking about. And everybody can listen. And everybody can listen for the gratitude that surrounds us on a daily basis. And bringing it out today, pointing a finger at it today. Amnon saying what he said about waking up. If you don't think for 1 second that from now on I'm going to wake up differently, you're wrong. Because I'm going to wake up every single day better and more thankful that, and in Jewish, there is a prayer that says, thank you for returning my soul.
To me.
To me, right, Debbie?
Yes.
So I'm going to do that in the morning. And I've always appreciated the gifts. But the gifts were bigger sometimes. Now it's not sweating the small stuff to me that's even more important. So, Debbie, right?
Yeah, we change based on what we are focused on. You were focused on your health. You heard the message that your ophthalmologist spoke about, you're going to be fine. You were focused on hope, having hope, and maybe despair, and you heard the message from me that there are many blessings in this. So each individual receives the information and tunes in like a radio antenna to the message that they need to hear at the moment to keep them, that hope alive, keep them going, to hopefully be in a better place. Less suffering, less pain, more wellness in body, mind, and spirit, because they're tuning in to the message that they need to hear. And somebody's going to give it to them.
Well, I agree with you to a point, but I don't completely agree about you just going to, I don't think you just listen for what you want to hear. I think sometimes the message is bigger than just what you want to hear. And that's why it keeps repeating itself and the message becomes clear. I mean, I think that I was meant to hear that I'm going to be okay, that I was okay, because nothing else, I was scared to death nonetheless. So even though I was hearing all these positive messages, I was still scared to death. And there was still this element of doubt that went with me wherever I went, The
element that you were scared to death of what?
Of having cancer. It was still there. It was still present with me. Even when you said what you said, or, I would talk to Carrie, or somebody else, my mother, or the doctor said what they said, or a friend said what they said, or, I put two and two together and got, whatever. I was, the messages, this was the message I was supposed to hear. And that's what is so interesting about listening. That if you listen to the meaning, yes, sometimes you're going to listen to what you just have to hear, or whatever you think you should hear. But I think that when you get, the clearer you get in a moment, it's going to knock you over the head. Debbie, if you didn't do your show, it would knock, you'd have to have done it. No different than me, or Carrie, or Amnon, or anybody that has an opportunity to write something, write a book, write a blog, share something about their lives. If you have to do it. That's another important, relevant factor in all of this. You have to do, sometimes you just have to do the work you have to do. The universe will knock you over the head 10 times a day until you get the message that you're not playing big enough, that you're not expressing yourself enough, that you have to do this. We have to share these things.
As you were speaking, I was thinking that, in a way, every single person is getting the same message.
Yeah, maybe.
Every single person is getting the message, you are fine. And, it's almost the same. Well, there was a book, I'm Okay, You're Okay?
Yeah.
From way, way back then. You remember that?
Yeah.
So maybe it's a continuing message that we're all getting knocked over the head to hear. I'm okay, you're going to be fine. No matter what you have to go through, no matter what the diagnosis is, no matter what the message is, the underlying message is that you're here to do what you need to do on the planet, and you're fine, and you will get through it.
Mm-hmm. Maybe so. I think that's a great... Mom, what do you want to say?
Not maybe.
What do you think?
I think it's true, but there's always that element of doubt when you're feeling sick and everybody is telling you you're fine. You're the one who's hurting, and you have to go further to complete your feelings and make you feel comfortable about it. It's a nightmare. It really was a nightmare.
This is very important. Gloria, speak more about this issue of doubt.
Say that again, Debbie?
I'm asking, that was wonderful from your mom. Gloria, tell me more about this issue of doubt that we have.
Well, it's an issue of doubt because you still have pain. Marilyn was suffering, and with everything that she did, she wasn't relieved. So how could you not say to yourself, there's got to be something. Now I can talk about it. I couldn't until now because I was feeling horrible for her. I didn't want her to feel worse, and yet I know she was feeling awful. And she wasn't getting any relief. So, we're all human. We think, well, I'd love it to be well, and I'd want to be well, and I'm so happy if everything comes well. But then I'm still hurting. What do I do? So, it's a terrible position to be in, especially when you don't get relief. And you're
her mom. You're her mom.
Well,
you're not the person actually in pain. You're her mom.
Being a mom is wonderful, and every pain that whatever pain your children are in, you go through with them. And but I'm grateful, for this day and we'll go on, and we know, thank God, everything will be fine. Whatever it is, will be taken care of. But there is an element of doubt until you reach that point.
And you know what, Debbie? It's so interesting, and everybody out there, when you go through things, like today I was listening to this family talk about this boy who died, and I was thinking, like, I look for things to help myself feel better, regardless of what I'm doing. I look for the silver lining. I look for the twinkled star. I look for something that makes sense of something that feels right. And like today, I was listening to all these people talk about this young man who seems. I didn't know him as a young man. I knew him as a baby, and I was thinking to myself, he reached he's doing now what he was meant to do. You know, he died at 23, but his legacy and his energy is going beyond. Look, I'm talking about him like crazy today. I'm on the air and on this and that. I mean, this boy, he was too big for the young man body that he had. His spirit was so big and so extraordinary that it was time for him to go, I guess, and the way he did it. So, Debbie, hold on a minute. I want to read something that Chris just wrote on the chat. I think it's really, I want to read it. So hold on just a second. If you're grateful, you're not fearful. And if you're not fearful, you're not violent. If you're grateful, you act out of the sense of enough and not out of a sense of scarcity, and are willing to share. If you're grateful, you're enjoying the differences between people, and you are respectful to everybody. And that changes the power pyramid under which we live. And that was by Dave, am I right, Chris? David Stendhal Rast, I think is what she was saying. And that is extremely poetic, poignant, and right on the mark. If you are grateful, something happened. You have faith. And when you have faith, I don't think faith and fear can live in the same place. It's kind of like can't happen. And if you're not fearful, then you don't have the violence, which is absolutely right. And you feel at peace. And when you're at peace, there is no reason to feel lack or anything less than feeling abundant. And connect. And I think the piece about this also is that you're connected, and that you're connected without boundaries. You're just part of the whole flow, and you're part of everything, and you're part of the entire life force. So fear cannot live under those conditions, which is extremely important when you think of gratitude. Debbie?
I listen.
Yeah?
It's a very, very beautiful thought that Chris provided. And it answers the question that Gloria had about doubt, because I don't think faith and doubt live together either. Faith is complete.
Yeah.
And so, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And hold on a minute, Debbie. I see a Jamie in the chat. Does that happen to be
Is that your Jamie?
Yeah, I don't know.
our
Is that my
Jamie.
Jamie in the chat? Jamie, write a message if that's you. If that's my daughter, Jamie, this is the first time I think my daughter has been here. And I'm not sure if it's my daughter, Jamie, or somebody else. But if it's my daughter, Jamie, send me a message. Send us a message in the chat. Yes, it's me. It's her. Jamie, could she call? What could she call?
Don't push her.
No, what can she call on? The 919? Okay, Debbie, hold on. Jamie, if you're by your phone, you can call in 919-518-9773. I'd love everybody.
That's just another thing to be thankful for.
You're not kidding. Jamie, call in 919-518-9773. She's never been on before, and she was in the room with us when we got our, when we were talking to the doctor. So it's really exciting to have her here. My children are busy women, working women, and they are not usually home during the day, so they don't get a chance to tune in and listen and share. But I would love to hear Jamie's perspective on anything, because she's quite
It's
smart.
a family reunion.
Well, we see each other on a regular basis, so it's not that.
No, I mean here on the air.
Yeah. And I'd love to hear from her as far as being a third generation. And anyway, so maybe she'll pick up her cell phone and she'll call if my grandson's not screaming, because he might be there too. But anyway, Debbie, you're right on with everything that you said. And these kinds of conversations are so important to have the freedom to share these things. And I love every show we do. I'm grateful for every guest we have. I'm grateful for each and every one of you for listening. And I think it's really a wonderful idea to have shows like this, just to talk. So anybody that has anything to share, please feel free to call in at 919-518-9773, or you can check in with us at computers, that's with an S, 2K Voice on Skype. Suziani says, Marilyn, you should do an advice show with all three generation perspectives. Well, what a wonderful idea. Maybe we will. And I'm sure there are things that we agree upon, and I'm sure that there are things that we won't, but I can promise you one thing. It'll be fun.
Hopefully.
It'll be fun. Maybe we'll be able to do that. So, Debbie, anything else you'd like to share?
Just sending lots of love, lots of hugs, and wonderful thoughts for our well-being, for you, for Gloria, your family, everyone. And thank you to Amnon for hosting and being the producer of these incredible times together that we all share. And so I'm going to hang up and send you waves of awareness.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. We love you. If you feel like calling back anytime, feel that.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. So, again, 919-518-9773 or computers 2K Voice. Here comes a phone call. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Well, I know that voice anywhere. Hello?
Hi.
You want to say hello to everybody?
Hello, everyone.
You want to tell everybody who you are?
This is Jamie, Marilyn's daughter.
So, Jamie, have you listened to what we're talking about?
I just started listening not that long ago.
Okay, well, we've been talking a lot about like gratitude and listening for the gratitude or listening for the appreciation, and I shared some of the experience that I had, and Grandma shared some of what she had, last week and so forth. So what would you say is something that Suziani, she's 32, and she's my firstborn. What is something that you're appreciative of and you feel grateful for?
Just in general?
Yeah.
I'm appreciative and grateful for my family. And yeah.
Yeah. And what about what did you learn? Did you learn anything in the last week or so with going through everything that we've been going through? Some of it I haven't even shared all the details of, certain things, but what would you say is something that you've learned?
Well, I mean, I'm the type of person who likes to have control of everything, and I don't do well when I'm not in control. So it's just reassuring, or not, I don't know if reassuring is the right word, but it's proving that you can't always be in control.
Wow, that was a big lesson for you.
I mean, you don't have control over everything that happens around you, so.
Right. And so now with that information, I mean, because a lot of people feel that. So without feeling control, what do you think they can feel to replace it?
I'm not sure, because I still always want to be in control. It just made me come from a more uncomfortable place, I guess. And I mean, I still wasn't comfortable in that uncomfortable place, but it just made me be there for a while.
And the thing about gratitude is, which my husband and I were talking about this morning, and I often say, freedom comes from something that isn't free. In order to experience freedom, you're getting free from something. So finding gratitude can also be coming from some place of uncomfort, to be grateful for something. And I'm glad Jamie's saying this about control, because when you try to control something, or when you are controlling, you limit your opportunities for the flow and for the awareness and for the faith. And so you limit your resources. Suziani says we have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and open to what is happening. Absolutely. And that comes with letting go of the fear, letting go of control, and having faith. So, Jamie, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there anything else? Is there something you want to say to Grandma?
In terms of what?
Anything you want. I'm not controlling it.
You are, Jamie. Gee,
Yeah,
take
Jamie, get
advantage
control.
of it. Take advantage,
I don't
Jamie.
think there's anything in particular that I want to say to her. I talk to her all the time.
Okay. Well, I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for calling in and sharing with us, what you thought. Is there any final words or anything you want to say?
No, just thought I would watch after putting Landon to sleep.
Say that again?
No, I just thought I would tune in for a few minutes after I put Landon to sleep.
Landon. I'm grateful for Landon. My love. Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye. So, somebody on the chat, and thank you, Jamie, I love you, and I'm grateful for having the children that I have. And the son-in-laws. I have great son-in-laws. So, somebody asked how you keep yourself reminded of gratitude and how you do those things. And I'm glad, Chris asked, and she said, I hope it's not too late. No, it's not, because it's something that I pulled together to share. So gratitude, one of the ways is to have photographs, is to be reminded of, your history, of people that you care about, maybe photographs of things that you want to have in your life, things that, places you want to go to. Any way that you can feel joy and appreciation and gratitude is through eliciting these feelings. You can do it through a picture, memories. You want to put these pictures in places that you're going to be, see them. It's not a struggle. I often tell people to put a string around their wrist or on the windshield, the window, the mirror in your car. Hang something there that every time you look at it, it like reminds you, like, okay, in this moment, let me find something to be grateful for. You turn on endorphins when you're feeling gratitude. You get rid of that aging hormone. You add in that DHEA, that anti-aging hormone, anytime you can feel these feelings. So you want to do things like that. Keeping a gratitude journal is also something that a lot of people do. And it really does make sense, because it's like a prayer. Anytime you have a prayer where you're saying you're grateful for something, you're living in that prayer. You're living in those moments. It's the same thing if you keep a journal. And I would suggest keeping one that fits, if you're a woman, in your pocketbook, or if you're a man, something you could fit into a pocket. Something that's small that you can always take out, jot something down, a moment in time. Because they're fleeting moments of genius. They disappear quickly. And so if you can keep reminding yourself and staying in that flow of gratitude all the time, you will help those feelings grow, and they won't disappear. And I think the more we can stay in these feelings of gratitude, the less war we'll have, the less crime we'll have, because as we said in that quote that Chris wrote, the more gratitude we have, the less violent we'll be, the less fear-based we'll be, and the less we will succumb to other control and to war and to conflict and all of those things. So the more we can spread these feelings of gratitude, the better the entire planet will be. So if anybody has any other comments about gratitude, about ways of reminding yourself, music helps you do it, is another way of eliciting these feelings. Meditating is a great way to do it. Take out a few moments a day. And you know what? Some people say do it in the morning. Some people do it at night. I say do it anytime you can do it. Anytime you can do it is a good time to do it. Mom.
I agree with you.
What else do you have to say for the our final words?
My final words is Marilyn is an amazing, not because she's my daughter, but because she is an amazing person. She went through these months of such ordeal with a smile on her face and gave everybody around her the strength to go on. And she certainly did a good job on me, because I could never have gone through this with her if she weren't the person that she is. She gave me all the strength I needed, and this is Marilyn, always. And I love you.
Oh, Mommy, I love you too. I mean, it's true. Honestly, I get my strength from you, because I have to walk the walk that I'm asking you to walk to. So I'm walking it together, and I'm doing what I say I'm doing, even when it's a struggle. So I'm not doing anything I wouldn't ask you to do, and I know, and that's the truth. It is. It's the truth. So today, let's all walk in gratitude for each other, for the lessons that we've been able to give to each other, take from each other, learn from each other.
And continue.
And continue, and sharing these ideas. And as Suziani said, if you have a show idea, up above my head, you'll see my name. Click on it, send me a message. If you have any thoughts or ideas about any topic, we'd love to hear from you. If you're interested in being coached, I'm a great coach for business, life, children, teens, couples, families. Click above my head. I don't talk about it so much, but I am today, because I'm grateful for being a coach, and for the clients that I have, and for the clients that I will have. And
I talk about it.
Yeah, my mother talks about it. I don't hardly ever talk about it. I'm grateful to Amnon. Thank you so much. Everybody, in unison. I'm getting myself all wet. So it's important. Let's spread these ideas. Let's write about it. Let's talk about it. Let's find out really what it means. The only way that I know what to say sometimes is because I'm saying things. Not just because I'm holding stuff inside, but because I'm sharing with you. I am learning as I speak. I am experiencing my words as they come out. And sometimes I have no clue what this mouth is going to say. Really, I don't. I honestly do not know. I just kind of let it go, and I have faith that I'm going to say the right things, and if I don't, I'll apologize. But my meaning is to say the right things, and I encourage each and everyone to do that as well. Drive safely wherever you go. Drive slowly. There's no fire. Nothing is going to disappear. Nothing's going away. It's always going to be there. Drive safely. Hug your kids. Hug your husband. Hug your wife. Hug your partner. Hug your neighbors. Hug your friends. Today, just tell somebody, how much you appreciate them, and live in appreciation and gratitude for every minute, because you have no idea when it's not going to be there, or when life is going to come and interrupt it and disappear. So with that, I love you all very, very much. Thank you for being here and sharing this time with us. I know it's important, and we will see you next week, Mom. I'm not, mwah, chat, mwah, and everybody out there. Mwah, bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Sundays, 9 a.m. till noon. Carrie's Psychic Cafe with Carrie Silkowski, Sundays, 8 till 9 p.m. Health In with Debbie Bruck, Mondays, 11 a.m. till noon. Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Mondays, 1 till 2 p.m. Lessons of Vietnam with NCBVI members, the second and fourth Wednesday of each month from 7:30 till 8:30 p.m. Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, Wednesdays, 9 till 10 p.m. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by That vidblasterguy.com, carolinaapparel.com, and deltaforce.net.